Hello, hello, it's me. It's Techno Dragon. Hi. Uh, this is an unusual video of mine. How I just managed to figure out how to get the microphone and the playback of this software working simultaneously. And that was tricky. Anyway, not sure if you could tell from the custom background, but this is a deconstruction of my piece Green, which was inspired by Fi, Fiznom's character. Yes, this is something that's been requested of me, actually. Not the song, the video, the deconstruction video. And I wanted to, yeah, I would love to talk more about how I put this thing together. So, um, this is probably not what you were expecting. The primary software I work with, you probably weren't expecting it to look like this. This is Dorico 4. It's a notation software, and it doesn't work as much as I paid for it. It does not work like its price tag. The only reason why I have this software is actually because I was a uh, I was a music composition student, and I got a bachelor's in music composition, basically. So there's a student discount for this, and that's that's why I have this. But even then, it's like a couple $100. I'm sorry, I just hit the microphone with my pop filter. Um, so uh, I don't recommend this unless you're really serious about like getting it. Like if you're just like, oh, I want to try it out. No, you're gonna use Muse Score, okay? Muse Score, okay? That's what you're gonna use if you want to get into something like this. But this is different from most music production softwares because it's a notation software, meaning that um it uh it works with sheet music instead it's like designed specifically for creating sheet music. But the thing about Dorico 4 is that it has the Halion Sonic synthesizer on it, and that comes with a ton of synthesizers and electronic sounds, a ton. And so yeah, of course I'm going to uh use that to my advantage. Why did it take me to the end of the score is beyond me. But anyway, yeah, not sure if you can tell, but I am going to go in depth about composition and softwares and stuff that I've worked with and like that. But of course, I'm a bit of a geek, so I apologize. Also, if the microphone at any point suddenly gets very loud, like it changes levels, it might have already done that. If it changes levels from like what you're hearing right now and then suddenly it sounds like I'm in your ear, I apologize. I don't know why my recording software does it, which is just the built-in Windows 11 software. It's like the Xbox Game Bar or something like that. I'm not using a very reliable system, so I apologize for that sincerely. Um, anyway, enough of me yapping. Let's talk about how I did this. So, um, enough of me yapping. Go back straight back to yapping. What I do typically as a composer is I make character pieces, and so what that basically means is like I want to analyze specific characters and then create a piece of music that I think embodies them. And so I've done this before multiple times with my uh Smash Legends tribute tracks project. The first album is already out. It's been out for since January of this year actually, and um that's where I take characters from the video game Smash Legends and I make tracks based on them. And yeah, so if you want an example of that, there's that. And then I just decided, like, upon looking at Fi, I was like, I really love that character design. I think it's one of the coolest character designs I've ever seen. And I thought, I really kind of want to make a piece based on this character. It was like my last semester of university, and I needed to make something after, like, because all the other things I was supposed to be doing was done, and I still had so many composition lessons, so I needed to bring material in, and I was like, you know what? Fi, because Fi's been on the mind. So when you approach a character, first thing that you got to do is like figure out like, okay, how if I were to like make a piece on this character, what would a couple of things I think this thing would sound like be like what do I want to convey when I write a piece about this? And I thought, well, I kind of want it to sound like slime. I straight up want it to sound like slime. I was looking at all of the backgrounds that she has in like different pieces specifically by I think it was by Ellie and Azazel alike. So you have those environments like the one of them is actually my desktop background. The one where it's all the big vats of slime and stuff, and then, you know, you analyze the, where it's like the security office. There's a couple pieces by Azazel, and that's kind of like getting the idea, like what the metallic feel. There's a lot of metallic, so like I'm thinking slime and I'm thinking metallic, and when you want to convey those sounds, what do you think? Well, I think I'm gonna find the yuckiest synthesizers I can find in this software, and also some metallic sounds. And if I can, I'll have to manipulate some of those things to make it sound more metallic, which is something that I did do. Um, and of course, now when it comes to composing in general, a couple of things you want to think about is, okay, what is the time signature? What is the key signature? What is the chord progression? And all of these terms, well, you'll be able to figure it out probably by watching it. I don't want to have to talk for too long without any music going. It's already been 6 minutes, so let's take a look at the beginning. Now, the working title was called Green for the longest time, and I decided to keep it. And I don't know how many of you have this similar thing, but I associate the color E minor, the key of E minor, which is 1 sharp here, with the color green. So I was like, well, it kind of works, so let's do that. Well, it opens up kind of soft. There's no dynamic marking here, or volume marking, if you will. But this is the chord. It is, yeah, it's an E minor with the 5th in the bass, so yeah, 1-6-4, if you will, right? Yeah, don't mind me. I just graduated. I don't know what's going on. All right, so let's just start listening to it and see how far it goes. And I'll stop it when I have something to say, or I'll just talk over it. Do you see how we're dividing in 4/4 now? This is what I mean by 4/4 time. It goes, hi, dude, look, the audio messed up or something like that, or maybe it just shifted it ever so slightly. I don't know what happened, or maybe I was just too dumb. Anytime I count, it put me on the offbeats. And so, like, any point in which I count a measure is now just, it's all in the same audio track. It's shit. It's useless, basically. So, thanks, technology. Always can rely on you. Motherfucker. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's basically time signatures in Western music terminology is how it's divided into, or counted even, for performers. I am going to be using Western music theory terminology just for those, just so you're aware. Rock music inspired elements. I do compose rock music regularly, and that's just me. Now, this is a 7-minute piece. I'm not gonna say, like, you know, keep it up. Anyway, this red note here, if you're wondering, this is an instrument that's like, oh, if this were a live instrument, a real bass guitar would not be able to hit this note. I don't know if it's going to show the synthesizer window if I open it. I don't think it will, unfortunately, but, hell if I know. Let's listen to some of the sounds on their own, because I feel like you guys would be interested in hearing that. So, let's start with the drums. Why not? What is the point of the drums here? They're kind of absent for the most part, but they will be coming back. Okay. I just had like 20. I'm not on a script. Not sure if you can tell. But anyway. Where are the drums? There they are. Jesus. This is a very heavy kick, which I wanted. And it's also boosted a bit by a low pass filter, if I recall correctly, which is again amplified in the other software that I use. I use two softwares for this. There's the notation software Dorico 4, and then there's the editing software Reaper 7. Sorry, I just talked over all that. Sorry, I just talked over all that. I'm so excited. Some of you are probably wondering, okay, well, like, we've talked a lot about how you're doing this, but we haven't talked a lot about what Phi has to do with this, and that's what I'm here for. And I'm like, okay, fine. Off-script techno is not the greatest techno. Here's something interesting here. This is a tempo change. I don't know what came over me, but something told me that I needed to use this specific sound, this thing right here. So, we're going for menacing, we're going for cool, we're going for slimy, and metallic. These are the same synthesizer. Oh my god. The synthesizer is actually one of those synthesizers that fights with itself. Here's a good spot to talk about. Okay, so this right here, it changes to 6/4 instead of 4/4, so 6 beats per measure. But what is this? You might be wondering, well, there's like, how did you come up with these melodies? These are all melodies that I bullshit, basically. But this one in particular is based on something. And it sounds like this. So what is that? That is actually Morse code. Technically. So, you could probably guess what it is. It's 6/4. So, it's Phi. It's spelling Phi's name. Because P is short, long, short, and H is short, and I is short. And the only thing here is that, like, typically when I do Morse code in music, if I make it so that they're all the same pitch. So that it's like this. If it were all the same pitch for every single letter, it would have sounded like this. But that's not as cool. And so that's why I made it. That's why I cut it up like that. But it's just, it's Morse code. It cuts in every now and then. And this melody really doesn't get its highlight until the very end. And if you remember this piece, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just that particular part. It's when we speed up again, we get to this point. This point, and that's where this melody really comes in. It's just saying Phi over and over and over again. You probably noticed something just now. If you really know this piece, then you just noticed something that you never heard in your life. And it's this right here. What the hell is this? This is just a harpsichord sound. And you never hear it because it's really just way in the background. And all it does is it's really just adding noise. So that's what this sounds like. There it goes. It just goes. I don't know why it cuts here. I think I made a mistake. Whoopsie daisy, but it's alright. This part is actually a really interesting part of the piece. There's every single instrument here you see is at some point in the piece, but there's this brass right here, which I don't know why, but like when I was first finishing the piece, in this software, I was like, I want the sound of brass to be here. Nowhere else in the piece, but just right here at the very end. And this sort of sound. Yeah, just listen again. I don't know what it is about that, but like that almost sounds like DSCRI. That it's not, which is ba 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 ba, and that's a something that like a lot of, if you ask the right musician, they'll geek out about it to you, but that's not me. If you are a musician, chances are you looked at this and you just panicked a little bit right here. This is something that I made seriously just because I wanted to. Okay, there's two reasons. I wanted to not only change the key to B minor real quick, but I really wanted to have an alternating meter between just any two weird meters, and so I chose 3/4 and 7/8. And why in a piece about phi would I do this? And well, this is primarily just because of a feeling of fluidity, because we've been in 4/4 and occasionally 6/4 for a very long time, and this character, as we know, is like it can be whatever you want them to be, and it can shapeshift, and it can change itself. She could be whatever you want. And so I thought, well, I can embody this by making it so that not only does the key change, but temporarily, but you know, excuse me, I forgot to unsolo that. It's very unstable, and you don't really know what's going on. There's also a bar of 4/4 here to make a weird noise because I wanted one weird noise and nowhere else to put it. So how do you count something like this? If you were a performer, how would you count something like this? Well, I actually put the counting beats right on the open hi-hats here in the drums. So if we go, let's solo the drums again. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Da, da, da. I forgot how to count it. I forgot how to count it. But let's hold on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I kind of did it on the opens. I thought I did, but I did not. But yeah, that's one way that 7/8 is used is da 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 da. That's quite common actually amongst 7/8, which is not saying much, but yeah. There was the other thing. Oh yes. So about those metallic sounds, you may have noticed at the very top that I just have an entire drum kit here that's just called barrel. And the reason why is because that's literally all I use it for, is the barrel. This is actually the, can I open this without it stopping the recording? Okay, cool. I can open this. I don't know if you can see this, but I have the synthesizer and its voices open right now. I don't think you can. But, I think it's called the ambient kit. And all I've done is just added these kinds of effects to the snare of the ambient kit, which is reverb. This is a low pass and kind of sort of. Actually, what is it? What is it doing? It's a slight low pass with a bit of a peak in the middle and some distortion. And that makes it sound like someone in this laboratory or wherever we're in is smacking the shit out of a barrel in the distance. So that's what the purpose of this thing here is. Is there any specific spot in which it's really super active? I guess right here would be a good spot for it. Think about it. See, out of context, that sounds pretty jazzy, huh? Da 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 da. But no, that's not jazz. Okay. Where else can I talk about what I wanted to do with the oh yes! Oh, I'm so glad I saw that. So this is what I get for not taking any notes whatsoever. I go on for 18 minutes about shit. And it's gone. Where did it go? Where did it go? It is gone. Where did it go? Okay, so one thing that I'm probably going to talk more about when I shift over to the other software, because it's easier to talk about there. This synthesizer is used for, this is what it sounds like. well, it's that synthesizer, but I've used it here to do one other thing, and that's to make this noise during this one point. Now, you can't really hear it holding out in the actual final mix like that, but this sound kind of serves two purposes. Number one, it kind of sounds like some cartoon splat noise, almost. And the other thing is that, it's supposed to sound like a notification, kind of, sort of. Let's actually go over to the other software where I can talk a bit more about that. Is there anything else around here I want to talk about? No, I don't think so. So we're going to shift over to Reaper because I think it would be easier for me to talk about that there because there's effects and stuff that are crucial to actually understanding what's going on here. All right, BRB. All right, here we are in Reaper 7. Now, Reaper, unlike Dorico, is free, and you can find a way to use MIDI synthesizers in order to do that. So, this is fucking insane. Here's what the whole thing looks like, by the way, just so you know. As you can see, we have our guitars here in the red tracks, we have our synthesizers in the green tracks, we have our drums and other percussion in the yellow, and we have some noises in blue, more extra synthesizers that I put in purple, and then our effects tracks, which are just things that I basically... Imagine it's like a little system that adds an effect to it, and then you can plug these different tracks in. As you can see, I have some of them routed to, oh crud, hold on. What are your receives? There we go. Now you can see where it's receiving from. It's receiving from, this reverb folder is receiving from the noises folder. Okay, and those noises don't show up until the very end. So, what I wanted to talk about that notification noise, which is, I don't remember what it is. I think it's the dirty space lead, if I recall correctly. It's easier to solo things as well in this software, good God. So, the panning here... Oh, shut up. The panning here is no coincidence. There's a lot of stuff that I implied with the panning. Beyond just being a way to make the mix sound better, the panning here simplifies something. With this specific noise, it's actually based on the stream layout, the layout of the actual streams. So you have this notification sound effect here on the left-hand side, which is supposed to symbolize, subscriptions and, membership notifications and text super chats. That's what they're called. Jesus. So it sounds like something popping up. And that's what that symbolizes. Why do I keep saying simplify? The other panning part here is actually in the guitar. It is not unusual for a guitar to be panned like all the way in one direction. And the reason why is in rock music, it's specifically so that the vocals can be dead center. You usually want stuff like that, like the bass, the lead vocals, and kicks and stuff like that to be in the center. So here in the guitar, typically there are some parts where it's in the center, but most of the time it's kind of off to the right a bit. Not around here. Kind of, sorta. You see right here, it's at 37%. Is there any point in which this is the part where it goes to the center. I could have just looked at the panning envelope to tell me where to go. Good God. But the reason why this is off to the right is the exact reason that you think. That's where Fi is sitting. And the guitar is kind of sort of the lead, so it's kind of like, oh, that's her talking and stuff like that. Or that's rather Phil talking, whatever. But the other thing about panning is that not only does it, like I said, symbolize things, but it's also very crucial to making the mix sound good. Let's go to a more dense part of this. Let's try it right here. You see that? That says output stereo. I don't know if you can see the when I hover over something, the text that it says, but it says output stereo when I hover over this button. Stereo means, oh, there's everything is coming from, everything is panning. I forgot to mention what panning means. It just occurred to me. Panning means something is coming more or less out of one side. So basically, if I pan something to the left, you're primarily going to hear something, that specific sound, coming out of the left speaker or the left muff of your headphones. And same goes for the right. Now, that's why I said stuff in the center. Now, that's called stereo, is when you have the mode enabled in which panning is a thing. Mono, on the other hand, is when everything is dead center, meaning that there is an equal amount of everything coming out of every single side, and the only control you have at that point is how loud anything is. So this is the importance of panning. You ready? I'm going to play this piece, and then I'm going to press the mono button, and that will make everything mono, and you're going to shit yourself, okay? 3, 2, 1. Oh, no! It sounds terrible! Oh, it sounds good again. Oh my god. Can you believe that? That's wild. Yeah. Um, so there's that. I would love to talk more also about the low pass filters, but I don't know if the window shows up. If you can see the window, I might take a screenshot of this because this is ridiculous. I forgot that I made it look like this. This is stupid. Don't let my composition professor see this. He will kill me. Oh my god. This is what the low pass filter... I'm taking a screenshot right now. I'm making it a call out so you can see. This is what the low pass filter looks like. That big... That peak at the very back is basically making it so that it amplifies lower frequencies, aka lower sounds, quite a bit. Holy shit! What the hell? Did I seriously route this to something? Oh my god. And it's also making it so that higher frequencies are more muted, and this is only applied to three things technically. It's applied to Fi's laughter, the growling, and that's it. And so both of the growling tracks. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you could tell, but the purple synthesizers were afterthoughts, in which I decided, here at the end, I actually want there to be. It's just the butterfly lead. Should have warned you there. I'm sorry. I should have warned you. Okay. So, also you may have noticed that I divided the drums here into like 3 separate tracks, and the reason why is because I'm an idiot and I wanted to amplify the lower part, but the lower frequencies, but the problem was I also had higher frequencies like a hi-hat on there, and the hi-hat was so fucking loud during some points that I needed to divide them up, and so I made a whole separate Dorico file in which I took the drums and divided the cymbals and the percussion and the other percussion, and basically, don't do as I say, not as I do. Make it so that those are on separate tracks. That's just the best way. There's definitely a way I could have figured out how to make it so that, I could divide all of the voices of the drums in Dorico, but I feel like that would have taken me so much more time than just doing it manually, and I'll figure it out another time when I'm not desperate to put another track out. And then I also had to boost the crash a couple of times even after doing that, so I just doubled it, which is a cheesy way. Please don't tell my professor. A cheesy way of dividing these things. Oh my god, I'm a sinner. Okay. I think I'm gonna stop the recording in a moment and just let the things that I forgot to say come to me. But I'm sure you're curious as to what's going on here in the blue. So, the blue are noises that I added to the very end. And you'll see that there is Fi's laughter, 2 growling tracks, and Phil's laughter. What the hell, Techno? What's going on here? So, it's at the very end. Let's just listen to these tracks on their own. that was weird. But uh each of these, let's talk about the most obvious one first. So, this is actually genuinely legitimately Phil's laughter. And that was the hardest one to obtain. I hate to say it, but that was the hardest noise to obtain. Um This is actually from the first time he played It Steals, and this is around the time he was laughing about the door knocking when you get to knock at the door. And the reason why I chose this specific laugh was because, first of all, there was like very minimal background noise going on, so I didn't have to worry about that. And the other part is because someone made like his voice was very gravelly that during that stream because the day prior he had done one of the Resident Evil lore streams and his voice was tuckered out. And someone, I don't remember who, made a donation and said, we're getting closer to Fi's voice. And I was like, okay, noted. So, because I know that there's some ambiguity, is if that's the right word, about Fi's voice and what exactly it sounds like. It's like different, but like there's like I think he said it sounded like Roz from Monsters Inc. Um, or like that was like a potential inspiration. I don't want to say the words voice claim because it's not precise. It's actually similar, or in a way or something. Or it's like we don't want to say anything official about something that's supposed to be whatever you want it to be, right? So I added some dumbass effects like apparently I added some kind of sort of mid. It's a mid pass filter. But this is also routed to the reverb. Oh no, wait, the full folder is. Yeah, so the whole folder is routed to that reverb there, and what that reverb is doing. Can I pull that up? Can I show you what that looks like? Oh no. Oh, I thought it was gonna look cool. It doesn't. I thought it was one of the cool looking reverb things. It's not, unfortunately. So if I take off, oh wait, no, 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 no. Hold on. Let me turn off the reverb for a second, and I'm also probably gonna turn off the filter that I apparently strictly put on this so you can hear. Legitimately, that's what it is. You can hear literally the knock at the door. Oh, that's what the mid-pass filter was doing. It was making it so that, I remember now, it was making it so that that thump wasn't so loud. Listen. See, that turned it down just a little bit, not very much, but I was removing the lower frequencies and some of the higher frequencies so that you could. Oh my god, that's so funny. I forgot about that. The other sounds, now moving on from Phil. You've noticed all this shit. I'm gonna mute you actually. What is this? What the fuck was that? And what the fuck is this? Shit, sorry. Hold on. What's going on there? That's just me making some stupid noises, and the reason why is because I was looking at the top of Fi's head, and I thought, there's no way that mouth in her hair doesn't make noises on occasion, so I was like, I'll just make some fucking noises. As like little growly, snarly voices. I imagine that's what I hear when I look at it. So, you ready for some cringe? I'm gonna turn this off. I've been practicing. Not sure if you can tell, but that's just it. And then you combine those noises, and it actually sounds kind of cool. But the elephant in the room here. What Fi's laughter is not the same as Phil's laughter. Why? That's because that's me. That's me making that noise. And you may have noticed that it's also going to the it's also going to this. And what that's doing is it's just... will it? No, it won't. Surely it won't. Oh yeah, it is. I didn't think it would do that. The more you know. So that's basically just adding some background deepness to it. I don't actually imagine that's what you sound like, but it's adding some background depth to it, so to speak. So it's like doubling, like if I were to play both at the same time, actually, it's which you can hear both at the same time if I just hit this and then turn the reverb off. Yeah, because then again, she has two mouths. I don't know what the other one sounds like. It might be that growly noise, so we can hear these all together again with all of the little effects. Look, it even says the recording over. You got it. One of them is the stream and one of them is the highlights video because I just needed to get to it quickly. So yeah, there's that. I have been that's a when it comes to Fi's laugh, I have been actually like trying to get my voice to sound like that as like a way to like I could literally just do this laugh. So if you're wondering like what I came up with in terms of that, I might make a little video or something stupid like that with this voice, but uh it sounds like this. Kinda, sorta. I've been working on it. It's gonna take some time. I swear. And, maybe. You never know. You never know. You never know.
Helga talks like this!
I just want you to know that every time I do that voice, I actually, like, say, Wazowski, you didn't file your paperwork last night. I legitimately say that every single time I have to get into that voice, which is not often. I do a lot of voice impressions and stuff. Just for fun. But anyway, it's been a long time. If there's any specific thing I missed, I will remember it the second I turn record off. Or maybe you'll mention it in the comments or something. If you have any questions, yeah, I'll definitely fill you in on that. Maybe I'll make a whole nother video where it's like shit I missed because somebody asked like about this thing. But yeah, that's what it all looks like. I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.